Welcome to Gallatin Truck Life, where my family and I live in a massive house truck. We base here on my mum's farm, but this YouTube channel has documented our journey of selling our house and living in this truck for the last 3.5 years. This episode's going to be a little bit confusing. We almost do something very impulsive and a little bit crazy, and Marcel is in a considerable amount of pain. We're meant to be going away this weekend in the truck. We thought we'd try to take Beast somewhere to a nice lake. We were going to go to Lake Taylor, 50 kilometres of rough gravel, so I thought that's going to be a bit of an adventure getting Beast in there. Now, Marcel has gone and thrown a big curveball, and it looks like we won't be able to go away this weekend either. Yeah, he's not in a good way. I might actually have to take him back to the hospital tonight. So this episode's just a little bit back and forth with should we do this impulsive thing, should we not, should we go to Hanmer, should we not. He won't even be able to lift the ramp on the back of the truck at the moment, let alone drive to Hanmer and Lake Taylor. There's also a little bit of what we've been up to leading up to New Year's and New Year's Eve. And yeah, Happy New Year everybody, and let's go. I don't know if you heard that, Marcel just let one rip. Just gone New Year's, and we had a fire out here the other night. Woo! Hey! With our friends, but Marcel just had to go to bed at like 11:30, so he climbed into bed. We put the beds down, and then the kids and I and Marcel all were on our bed until midnight, and then we did the countdown, and then Marcel just went right went to sleep. But he's been working a heap of hours. I've been flat out at Black Rabbit. There was a few road closures and a terrible accident in the Lewis Pass. There was something on the Lewis Pass, so everyone was coming through Kaikoura, and then the road was closed for about 4 hours. So they've just been absolutely flat out. Josiah got called in an hour early yesterday, and he did 5 hours on a public holiday, so he's pretty stoked. And he's got work the next 3 nights too, so very busy. Marcel did 14.5 hours yesterday because 2 of the staff called in sick. You know, New Year's Eve they were sick, but anyway, it is what it is, and he gets time and a half for that, so that's good. But anyway, I'm off to hang out with my mum for the day. Marcel has got 3 days off, which is nice, and we are heading away next weekend. We probably will go on the 8th, Thursday night, and head to Hanmer and go to the hot pools and just do something really nice with the kids. And then we are thinking of going to Lake Taylor. Now, do any of you know what the road's like? Our friend Alan told us we'd get Beast in, and then our friends who were here on New Year's Eve were like, oh, you won't get Beast in there. But they went years and years ago where there used to be a few fords that we just wouldn't get Beast in. Yeah, if any of you guys know the road, let us know what it's like, but we are going to try to take Beast in there. Hello, Summer. You gave me a fright. What is it? A lot of you guys are motorhomers and you know New Zealand well, so if you could let us know. Actually, don't let us know, because then I might get put off going in there. It's 50 kilometres of rough gravel, so it'll just be a really slow drive in, but we'll get in there, Marcel reckons, and so does Alan. So sounds like an adventure to me. I'm going to get Marcel to make sure he's got the drone charged so that we can get some cool drone shots in there. Supposedly the lake's just beautiful in there and good for swimming. But we've never stayed at a dock camp before, so I'll need to book the site.
The kid's cousin Noah's got a little Peewee 80, and I've just heard that Summer's now had a go on her own, which is pretty cool, so I'm going to go have a look.
I can also motorbike by myself.
You ride it by yourself?
Yeah, I'll just have a go after you like it.
Yeah?
He'll probably do 2 laps and I'll do 2 laps also.
Why do you need those on? You're not going in the dirt.
They're just like this.
So Josiah is at work and the rest of us are going down to South Bay for a swim because it's meant to rain for something like a week and a half. There's some southerlies coming through. So we're going to make the most of the nice weather for the next couple of days before that hits. See ya, Beastie. Can you get the stones out of your trousers and stuff, please?
Can I bring this?
No.
I'll paint it.
No.
I will paint it.
No.
I will paint it.
Get the stones out of your butt crack, Lola.
That made some good content. Remember that scary wind and the tree that came down in the wind? Whoa, what was that?
The tree fell.
The tree fell? What tree? Marcel's getting stuck into it today with the brother-in-law / his cousin. Don't ask. The men are doing man stuff. I am mum's woodshed is crushed under that tree, so still haven't got her a new one. Hey Sammy, are these yours?
Oh, yes.
You left them over at the house. Here you go.
Oh, my stuff.
I'm going to walk up to the gate and get Gran's lunch.
Okay, I've packed my stuff.
What stuff? Oh, you have? Summer's having a sleepover tonight with some friends who live in Christchurch, but they're here at their grandparents, so she's going to go stay with them. We've got friends staying the night and in their pop-up camper on their roof.
Rooftop tent, yeah.
Rooftop tent, that's the thing. And their kid was just going to sleep in their car, but you're going to sleep in the cab. Okay.
The leather buns.
Oh, when you're pulling your skin against it.
Yeah. Owie.
He went in there without a sleeping bag or pillow.
Your hand. So stuck. There you go.
Awesome. Oh yeah. Looking good. So the kids are going through their old toys that are just stored in the caravan. They're going through it all so that we can store it properly, what they want to keep, and if there's anything that they're ready to part with that can go to second-hand shop. And yeah, there's a little bit of junky toys and rubbish in there too that they're just probably going to get rid of, second-hand shop. And yeah, I'm going through the caravan. Marcel and I almost did a crazy thing. We were so close to doing it, and then this morning we actually decided to do it, and then this morning we talked to each other and we were like, oh, maybe not. So we didn't do it. We're a little bit gutted we didn't do it. I will tell you what it is. We are actually going to purchase a small garden shed so that we can put all our stored stuff in it and set this caravan up properly as a spare room and a lounge. So there's already a couch in here. There's also already a big bed in here, queen size bed, which is really comfortable. But we'll probably take that out and set it up as couches that convert to bunk beds so that the boys have a spare room while we're here on our base. And when we're not here, then we'll just obviously use the truck as we're currently using it when we're travelling. So yeah, getting stuck in. I bought a bunch of big containers when I was up in Blenheim a few weeks back, and just getting stuff sorted so that it can be moved out of here into a shed. The thing that we almost did was we almost bought a bus. Just across from Marcel's work there was a bus sitting there and it said $6,000 on it, and we stopped to have a look at it, and as we stopped the guy who owned it pulled up and Marcel knew him, so he just chucked us the keys and showed us around it. So cool. It's already all stripped out. There's a couple of the original bus seats still in it, but it's mostly stripped out, and he had a heap of mattresses in there because he was going to take some kids on a camping trip in it. And we were like, oh, we should so get this, because instead of buying a shed and using Peggy as our spare room, we could have a bus that we could build like a false wall in for storage at the back, and then the whole front of it would have been spare room / lounge / all those things, Lego room, whatever. But yeah, we just decided against it. We do have the money, but we just decided against it because we were like, that money is towards our North Island trip. We've also got our annual insurance bill coming up, and we just didn't want to add that financial pressure to ourselves. We just changed our minds. It was a impulse thing. So we have been looking at other options of how to store all our stuff, and this bus would have just been perfect, and it would have been so funny because it was quite big. So there would have been a white bus. We would have sold Peggy, cleaned it up and sold it and there would have been a white bus sitting where the Caravan currently is. We were all go. The guy said 5.5, and we were like, we offered him 5, and he said no last night. And then this morning he messaged and said he'd take 5 for it. And we were like, yes, let's do it. And then we kind of hung up. Marcel's at work, and we hung up. And then he rang me back a bit later and was like, oh, should we do it? And I was like, probably not. So anyway, that's okay. We could do something like that at some stage and have a much bigger spare room / schoolwork room / toy room for the kids and storage. Well, that was a little bit of a drama. Marcel and I were going to go buy that bus, and yeah, we organised the money. We weren't paying anything right now. We organised the money another way, and we're going to set up a payment plan for it. So the owner came all the way from Awaru, which is about 20 minutes south of Kaikoura, came all the way, and we were about to hand him over the money, and this other old fella comes in and goes, oh, you can't buy this, it's already sold. And we kind of just ignored him because we were like, well, we're the ones that have bought it, so yes, it is sold to us. And as we were walking out, I said to the guy, oh, what did you mean by it's already sold? Did you mean by someone was coming to buy it, because that's us? And he was like, no, I've bought it. And so Marcel had to ring the guy that was selling it on behalf of this other guy. And apparently the other old fella had offered him a little bit more than what we had, and he had agreed upon it. So we then got told that there was another offer, but he was going to take our offer. And we organised the cash and we're down there to buy it. And this other guy just created a little bit of drama and was pretty put out that he wasn't buying it anymore. So Marcel and I just bowed out. We were just like, oh, we'll just leave it. And we just left. Anyway, I hope it didn't cause any contention between the two old guys, because I think they know each other. But yeah, really weird situation. Marcel and I were umming and ahhing about it anyway. 2.5 times bigger on the inside than our Caravan. But that kind of made the decision for us. We didn't want to deal with any drama, so we just went, nah, we'll leave it, and left. Would have been a really cool spare room and lounge and storage space. But I just think we're just going to leave that one. I mean, if that sale falls through, they might ring us back again, but I don't know, that kind of put me off a bit, to be honest. And I think it put Marcel off too. So yeah, the kids were expecting us to turn up with the bus, but we're not. So anyway, yeah, weird day. If I hadn't said that to him, we would have just bought this bus, and then that old fellow would have been sitting there going, oh, I bought it, and now he sold it to them. So anyway, sorted. We didn't buy it, and he can have it. Hopefully it doesn't fall through for him now. I'll carry on doing what I'm doing to Peggy, Caravan, and yeah, we'll figure out how to store our stuff with some kind of shed, I think. Drama.
Yesterday afternoon, me and Elijah went down to the wharf to do our wharf jumping that we normally do, and some guys from church came as well, and we're having a good old time. Then me and another bro decided to do a dive off it rather than just do a bomb. And yes, obviously their movement for this old fella was too much. And so I've sort of sprained my neck and compressed a nerve or whatever on my shoulder. So all night last night, no sleep, and pain was just through the roof. And today went to the doctor's, and now I've got a cocktail of drugs.
And a week off work.
So
are we going to Hanmer in 2 days? And Lake Taylor?
That's still the plan. Yeah,
well, the doctor said resting in the pool might be good for it.
We might not make it to Lake Taylor.
Yeah. Well, you might not be able to drive to Hanmer either, but we'll see how tomorrow is.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I just want to take the sleeping drug while I'm driving.
No. So we've come down to the beach to see if the cold helps Marcel's shoulder. He's in a lot of pain, so he's taken his pills again and waiting for them to kick in, but he thought a swim might help. So I'm just here parked at the hospital. I just dropped Marcel off and they're going to do some more checks. And the drug that she gave him when I brought him earlier hasn't even touched the pain. So there's no way he's going to sleep like that tonight. We'll go get JJ from work and then hopefully he'll be finished by then. They'll probably give him something a bit stronger monitor him for a while and then send him home with something stronger. So he may need to stay the night here, I'm not sure. They did tell him that he might need to stay the night here. I'm going to end this episode here, but before I go, I'll let you know that that little bus is still for sale. We've been offered it again. The other guy, it fell through with him, even though he was adamant that he'd bought it. He just hasn't given them the money, so they just took it and took it back home and rang us and asked if we still wanted it. So we were still kind of thinking about that, but we've kind of gone off it a bit, and it's probably a wise decision. Like I said, we weren't actually going to pay any money up front. We were going to borrow some money from some friends and then pay them back after our North Island trip. They were happy to do that, but we just don't think it's a very wise thing at the moment. Poe, the ute, has got rucks overdue, and Beast has just gone overdue for road users as well, so we'll just wait that one out and yeah, probably not get it. Who knows, in our next episode we might have a bus. We'll probably change our minds again. Also, it is looking very unlikely that we'll go to Hanmer and Lake Taylor this weekend, unless Marcel just miraculously gets heaps better over the next couple of days. We're probably going to be staying put. We might just do, if he's well enough, a day trip in the ute to Hanmer so that I can drive. I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.